Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game.
Yo guys, welcome back to episode 3 of Finding the One. Today I am really excited because I'm trying out a brand new bike. New bike to me, a bike that I've never ridden before. So I'm really excited to add this one to the mix. So let's flip the camera, head to the trails and see what this thing's like. So today is really exciting for me. I've always wanted to try a pivot bike. So shout out to the guys at Saddleback UK for hooking us up with this Pivot e-bike. So I can test it, compare it to Santa Cruz's, Marin's and other e-bikes that I've ridden. And throughout this journey of finding the one, I'm in search for that perfect e-bike. Could Pivot be the one?
Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard.
So the first ride ever on a Pivot, which is so exciting. I'm absolutely buzzing to ride this bike. So just to give you first thoughts on the motor, it's a Bosch motor, completely new and different to what I'm used to. I'm used to Shimano motors. So we're in the first setting. Got quite a lot of assist there. Wow. It's like a two-stroke motorbike where you just give it a little blip on the throttle and it's gone. So conditions have indeed changed a lot. It's now getting to the typical British winter here in the UK, which I do not like on an analog bike, but on an e-bike, like on a normal bike now, you'd be grinding away, you'd be moaning about this mud. I'm not, I'm having a great time. So I was only able to get the big boy camera out on the trails as the weather conditions were so poor, and I was on a time scale, so you'll have to put up with a GoPro edit and you will hopefully see in the GoPro clips how much fun I'm having on that bike. We are back at the shop. It's now after hours, the workshop's shut, the shop is shut, the door is locked, and we're gonna crack open a beer. I've got a No Limits Pills and Frills. We're gonna crack open this beer and have a chat about e-bikes. So grab yourself a beer, grab yourself a coffee, let's dive into it. So firstly, happy Friday guys, and secondly, huge thank you to Saddleback Mountain Bike for bringing the bike up to us so I could get a leg over it today and try it out before it heads back out on another demo. So yeah, big up those guys, really appreciate that. So let's talk about it. The Pivot, a completely brand new bike to what I'm used to, completely different linkage. So the bike that I rode today was a Shuttle AM. Full 29er, but you can in fact mullet the bike, which is really cool. So it'll be interesting to see how the bike mullets. Rear travel on the Shuttle is 148, and then up front we've got a 160 fork. As mentioned, full 29er, so that full all-out speed. So on the team build, it comes with a 750 watt battery, and on the pro builds, it comes with a 625 watt battery. So for myself, I'm a massive fan of Santa Cruz bikes. I've been riding Santa Cruz for years and I'm a huge fan of them. So to get me off that bike onto something else, it's gonna take a lot of persuasion. And especially after last week's ride on the Heckler MX, I was sold on that bike. I love a mullet version. I love that smaller wheel on the back. You can really slap it into the turns and maneuver it where you need to. And it just naturally follows that 29er up front. So it was gonna take me a lot to get me off that mindset, especially going from a mullet onto a 29er. It was going to take some beating, put it that way. But after riding the full 29er today, it's convinced me otherwise. I did not think I'd be swayed. I thought I'd be down for the mullet. Obviously the first bike I tried was the Marin E2. That was a mullet. The second bike I tried was the Heckler MX, which was a mullet. And the third bike that I've tried, so I've chucked a Pivot. Originally I was wanting to try the SL, the lighter weight one, but the one that they brought us was the Shuttle AM, so it was the big battery, the big boy. Comparing that against the Santa Cruz from last week's ride, it got me hooked. It got me very surprised. I knew it would be good. Bear in mind it's a 12-13 grand bike. It is going to be good. Anything around the 5 grand bracket up is going to be good these days. So that there's no bad mountain bikes out there. So for those that have been watching the channel and watched it since episode 1, you'll know that I like to rinse the motor. I like to whack it into boost, the top setting, and fire out and get as many laps in as I can. So for me, buying an e-bike, that is exactly what I'm going to do out of it. So I'm not bothered about crunching miles on the moors, and I'm not too stressed about the battery capacity. If you're looking for a bike where you want to be out all day on it, then you definitely need that big bike. You don't want to be going for the short travel, lightweight e-bikes, definitely not. You want that full battery capacity so you can go out for the day, not have the battery anxiety that you're running out of battery and you need to get back ASAP. You want to be looking at a 750 watt battery at least. I'm looking for a bike where I can get as many runs in as I can when I'm on my own, so I'm going to be out for like a power hour and absolutely drain the battery. And then when I'm riding with friends, I will not be riding it as I am in these videos. I'm a lot more restricted on the battery life, so I'll be riding eco a lot more. I'll be further down the mode and actually having a really workout on the climbs. That's how I ride usually, but for these videos I really want to see what the battery capacities are like. So I'm going to whack it straight into boost. I'm going to use it on the climbs, I'm going to use it on the descents and everywhere. And what I really like to do with putting it into the top setting, the boost, the turbos, on the descents, you really get a feel for how the bike handles, because it's always pushing you on is the bike. So you kind of riding on its limit and riding on your limit, on my limit should I say. So it really gets a good feel of how that bike descends. Naturally you want to be clicking down your modes, you don't want to be rinsing through boost, especially on the descents, because one thing you'll find is when you're going into a corner and the bike will escape you, and it's like riding a motorbike. When you just give it a little blip into a, it kind of soon runs away from you, and the last thing you want going into a turn is your arms dead straight and you can't flick that bike around the corner. Like I say, I'm just whacking it straight into boost and seeing it how it rides and how that battery capacity lasts and how they hold up. And each bike that I've ridden, I've got back with 3 bars on. Today I got back with 4 bars. So there's plenty of life in those batteries to be able to do what I'm looking for. It had a really lively, poppy back end and a really smooth ride feel. It felt very light, it felt very nimble. It was a very well planted bike and a very grounded bike. It was a size large. As mentioned, if you've been keeping up with this series, I'm 5'11". In the first one I rode a medium, in the second one I rode a large, and in this episode I did ride a large. And I'm finding my feet and finding myself a lot more comfortable. With it being a big bike as well, for me, I kind of get used to throwing and lugging a big bike around. Saddle position doesn't matter, or isn't that much important as it would be an analog bike. On an analog bike you want your power input to be as efficient as possible, whereas on an e-bike you've got the motor to assist you, so you kind of find yourself getting a little bit lazy with the dropper seat post and running it a little bit lower than you normally have it, or a little bit higher. It doesn't matter because you've got that power input from the motor. So that brings episode 3 to an end. I've had such a good time on the Pivot Shuttle AM and I'm really excited for the future videos. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. If you do, please do drop us a thumbs up and drop us a line in the comments to let us know what you want to see more of, and I'll try my best to make that happen. Cheers for watching guys, take it easy and we'll see you in the next one.
I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Yeah, oh yeah, the beast back, adrenaline pumping through my veins.